But isn't that the reason so many older people don't take risks and don't go on adventures? Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. I hope you are all doing well. Today we are going to be discussing age and whether age is a problem when it comes to wanting to work on cruise ships. I've had a few of you DM me over on Instagram asking whether you're too old to work on cruise ships because it seems to be quite a young job to have. So that's what we're going to be going through, and hopefully this video is going to make you feel better about whatever choice you decide to make. But before we start, please press like and subscribe for more cruise ship content, and if you have any video suggestions you can leave them down in the comments, or you can DM me over on Instagram at Cruising as Crew and I will be sure to get back to you. But as for now, let's get into the video. So I have worked on cruise ships for the last 5 years, minus 2020, for obvious reasons. And on all the ships I have been on, I've noticed that a large percentage of the crew have been under 30. So yes, it is quite a young job to do. However, there are older people on board. On Oceania, the people in the shops ranged from 21 and the oldest was 72. So no, age isn't a problem, but what you will find is that the older people on board are generally the senior people on board. You know, the captain, the officers, the doctors, all the managers, all the high-ranking staff on board are going to be the older staff because obviously they have worked on ships for a long time and they have worked their way up the ranks. The younger staff are going to be the fresh people who are just coming into the cruise industry. Now, obviously, you can start your cruise ship career at any age. When I was training to work in the shops for Harding, there was a few ladies there who were like in their late 40s, early 50s, who were just starting their career on cruise ships. So you definitely can do that at any age. It's whether you can afford to, because it's like anything, entry-level jobs are going to offer entry-level salaries, and the older we get, the more responsibility we get because we buy cars or houses or, you know, things we need to pay for. So you generally need a higher salary as you get older to pay for all the things that you have accumulated over the years. However, if you are in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and maybe you've paid off your mortgage, maybe you don't have a house, you don't have a car, and you don't need to have a large salary, then of course you can afford to do this and go on this adventure. But isn't that the reason so many older people don't take risks and don't go on adventures? Because they can't afford to. They have a mortgage, they have car payments, they have kids maybe, but we'll get on to kids in a minute. So if you are over 40, over 50 and you're wanting a change, you're wanting to start working on cruise ships, that's absolutely fine. But just know that you probably are going to take a pay cut because you're going to have to start from the bottom and work your way up. And if you can afford to do that, amazing. There are going to be people of your age on board, but they'll probably be in a higher ranking position than you, but that's fine. And then the other reason why it's usually young people who work on cruise ships is because young people generally don't have a family yet. There are obviously a lot of people on board who do have a family and they, you know, leave their family to work on cruise ships, but that is people from Asia, people from Africa, where it's very much ingrained in their culture to have a baby and give it to grandma, and the grandma will raise your baby while you go off and bring the bread home. Whereas in, you know, UK, America, Australia, in Western culture, that just isn't really a thing. We tend to want to have kids and raise them ourselves. So that is a big reason why it's considered a young people's job, because it is something that you do generally before you settle down and have kids, unless you come from a culture that it's completely normal to have a baby and then go and work away. Another reason that it's a young people's job is it's long hours, you're on your feet a lot. When you have time off, you generally want to go and explore the ports rather than rest. So you need a lot of energy. I was 18 when I started working for Steiner and I was tired all the time. I was 18. I had the most energy that I was ever gonna have and I was knackered. And obviously as you get older, not everyone, but the general consensus is that you have less energy the older you are. So if you are older and you go on board a cruise ship, you're probably not gonna keep up with the kids, which is absolutely fine. You are more likely to go to work, go straight to bed, maybe get up and explore the port the next day. However, when you're young, you can do that. You can work a 14-hour shift and go to the crew bar and go to the gym and get off and explore the port. I mean, I'm 25 and I don't think I could work for Steiner now. I look back and I think to what I used to do on my first contract. I would finish work at 8:30, I would go to the gym, then I would go to crew bar and have a long evening out, and then I would get up at 7 the next day, and I'm like, how did I do that? I have no idea. Another thing is, you are going to be sharing a cabin if you are in an entry-level job. When you're younger, that is acceptable's the wrong word, but you're more willing to roll with the punches and be like, yeah, look, I'm sharing a cabin, I'm sleeping in a bunk bed. Whereas I think when you're older, you're like, no, I want my home comforts. I don't want to be sharing a cabin with a complete stranger. I don't want to be sleeping in a bunk bed. And just various things like that. Obviously, as you get older, your wants change. And I just think the older we get, the more we prefer the idea of having a house with a double bed and not sharing a room with a complete stranger. Obviously, that's not everyone, but generally. And then as well, the younger you are, the easier you adapt to things. You look at children, you can put them in almost any situation and they will adapt to it. The older we get, the harder it is to adapt. And as I have said on every video, I think, it's so important that you are able to adapt to different situations because things are going to be changing constantly. Your roommate might leave, you might get a new manager who wants things done completely differently. The time is probably changing once or twice a week. You're going back an hour, forward an hour. You're in a different country every day. You have to be able to adapt. And the older you get, the harder that becomes, as well as having to work the long hours. So those are the reasons why working on a cruise ship is generally more geared towards a younger person, a person under the age of 30, 35. As I've said, 70-year-olds, the 80-year-olds, like, it doesn't matter what age you are. So whatever age you are watching this, if you want to work on cruise ships, absolutely go for it. But this is just a video on why it's generally younger people that go for this job. You kind of have to be free of responsibility because when you join a cruise ship, you are inevitably entering a whole new world that is going to take all of your time. And the older you get, the more responsibility you generally have. So it's harder to just get up and leave all of that to move to a cruise ship. So to answer the question, no, age does not matter at all. If you are an energetic, active 50, 60-year-old who has paid off their mortgage and is free to do whatever they want, get a job on a cruise ship, do it, you know, it'll be amazing. But you will be working with a lot of youngsters. But age is just a number. You are as young as you feel and you can do anything. So do not let your age stop you from doing anything. Going on cruise ships, going traveling, getting a dog, going to space. 60 is the new 30. I know you could get struck by lightning, but it's really likely that you're going to live till you're like 90, 100. So do not let your age stop you from going for your dreams. Because working on cruise ships is an amazing opportunity no matter what age you are. So no, age doesn't matter. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you have found this video interesting. If you have, please give it a like and press the subscribe button. And if you have any video suggestions, then you can let me know in the comments down below, or you can DM me over on Instagram at Cruising as Crew. But thank you again so much, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.